Going on, world? DS1 Ross, and we back here on Sheep Stay Sleep TV. Shout out to everyone who support the platform. Much love, much love, much love. If you are here in the building and you can hear me clearly, please drop a one in the chat. 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 Let me know if y'all can hear me clearly out there. Let me know if y'all can hear me clearly out there by dropping a one in the chat. Okay. I see some ones. I see some ones. Okay. I'm glad you guys can hear me. I'm glad you guys can hear me. Shout out to everyone in the building, man. Shout out to everyone that's in the building. And of course, we're back right here on Sheep Stay Sleep TV. I'm y'all host, DS1 Ross. Of course, man, I appreciate all the love and support. Shout out to all the visionaries, man. Salute to my lovely lady mods that always come down, that always come through and hold it down for me. Thank y'all so much. Thank y'all so much. And of course, welcome back to all the new supporters. We got another great show lined up for you guys today on Sheep Stay Sleep TV. Shout out to everyone. Happy Friday. Happy Friday to everyone. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Happy Friday to everyone, man. I'm going to get to the chat and shout everyone out before we get into today's show. But do me a favor, double tap your screens, hit that like button on the way in. Double tap your screens and hit that like button on the way in because we're going to continue the vaccine conversation. We're going to continue this conversation today. I see that you guys enjoyed yesterday's show. Had a lot of feedback in the chat. So shout out to everyone for tuning into yesterday's show, yesterday afternoon show, and coming through and giving y'all feedback, man. So I definitely found some more information that we're gonna get into on today's show. Y'all see the title, but before we get into it, I want to shout you guys out. And then we're gonna get into it. So make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that share button as well, y'all. Hit that share button, y'all. Share the show. Let's get this conversation going in the algorithm, man. Hit that like button, hit that share button. Shout out to Scorpio Mama in the building. First lovely lady mod in here today. Hey, Scorpio. Happy Friday. Happy Friday, Scorpio. I appreciate you. Shout out to my man Bob in the building. What up, Bob? Salute to you, my brother. Salute. Shout out to Miss Classy Creole in the building. One of my top lovely lady mods that always come through and hold it down. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you, Miss Classy Creole. Salute to you. We got two lovely lady mods in the building thus far. We got three lovely lady mods in the building. Shout out to the cynical one. Happy Friday to you, Sin. Happy Friday. Good to see you as always. Coming through and holding it down for a brother. Thank you so much, Sin. Thank you so much. We got four lovely lady mods in the building today. Shout out to Ms. L'Oreal in the building. Hey, Ms. L'Oreal, good to see you as always. Happy Friday to you. And you always coming through and holding it down for a brother. So thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Shout out to you. Shout out to my man, Art of War. Salute, Art of War. Salute. Shout out to Miss Rain and Woman in the building. We got five lovely lady mods in here already, y'all. Two top lovely lady mods, five lovely lady mods in total. Good to see y'all, ladies. Happy Friday. Shout out to you, Miss Rain and Woman. I hope all is well. Good to see you as always. Salute, Raina. Shout out to Miss New York Nikki baby in the building. We got 6 lovely lady mods in here today, man. Oh, it's gonna be a good show. It's gonna be a good show. Shout out to you, Miss New York Nikki baby. I appreciate you always coming through and decorating the chat. Shout out to you, Miss New York Nikki baby. Thank you so much. 6 lovely lady mods in the building today. Shout out to Miss Tanya in the building. Hey, good to see you, Tanya. Good to see you. Shout out to you. Shout out to my man Raj. What up, Raj? Salute, fam. Salute, salute. See who else is in the building before we get into it. Shout out to my man Club in the building. What up, Club? Salute, my brother. Salute, salute, salute. Shout out to my man Club Fortune on the pull up. See who else is up in here before we get into it. Shout out to my man Self University in the building. Salute, salute, Self. Shout out to you, my brother. Peace to my man Seth's son in the building. Peace, bro. Shout out to my man Seth's son, man. We're going to continue this conversation today. I found some, and this, I mentioned this before, and this is very ironic, right? But it's like, I guess it's because of the algorithm and how the AI is connected to everything. But like I mentioned before, I would do a show, and whatever the subject matter is, literally right after I get off the show, I'll start getting articles that ties into the topic we just spoke about. So that's what happened yesterday. And we're going to get into this. Y'all see the title? RFK Jr. and the vaccine divide. Why trust is broken. Why trust is broken. The vaccine divide. Now notice, right? Ever since Trump and his administration has been in office, right? They have constantly tried to create a narrative of a division here in America. What is this division that they're talking about? Why do they keep trying to say that America is divided? What, in what fashion? Who divided the country? Of course, they're trying to blame Donald Trump for this. But what is this divide? And again, y'all, it could just be me, but y'all let me know what administration, right, that you ever lived in, and you've constantly saw them promoting division in America, just division. Not togetherness, not family, not unity, but separation, division, and it's being promoted through the media constantly. Let me know. Some of y'all that's in the chat y'all are a bit older. So y'all have probably lived during a time where they were promoting division. So educate me on that. Because throughout my life, this is the first presidential election. This is the first administration that I've lived a part of. And all I hear is division. Division. All I hear is separation. This is all I'm hearing. I'm not hearing we're all Americans like I've heard during other during other presidents being in office. I've always heard we're all American. I've always heard unity. I've always heard being patriotic. I've always heard we're all one. I've always heard division was bad. But it seems like during this administration, during this presidential term, all we're hearing is division, divide, division, divide, separation, us, them, y'all, we, us over there, them over there. Y'all don't notice that? How you doing, Comic Candies? Shout out to the residential OG. Salute, OG. Shout out to Elisino in the building. Club says this presidency, the division semantics have ramped up significantly. Absolutely. Absolutely. Classy says they not about bringing the American people together. Club says even though the division has been there for ages. Hey, Keita T. Shout out to Miss Keita T in the building. We got what, 7 lovely lady mods or 7 lovely lady mods in here today. Shout out to you, Miss Keita T. I appreciate you. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. And I just was sitting back thinking when I was watching this video that we're going to get into. And I'm like, why is division being promoted so much when our country is at our lowest? Wouldn't it be a smarter idea to promote unity now as a country? Right now, we're at our lowest and we're promoting separation. What is going on? And what is this separation? Who can guess what the separation is? Who can guess what the separation is? Who can guess what the divide is? All you gotta do is look at the thumbnail. All you have to do is look at the thumbnail, y'all. What you see on the thumbnail? You see the country, and it's in what? The country is in what? There you go. There you go. Shout out to the OG. Salute, OG. Appreciate you, man. Shout out to you for that super chat, man. Shout out to the OG Elisino. Appreciate that super chat. The divide is the same divide that has always been promoted in this country. Racial. Now, we have people saying that the conspiracies behind the vaccines, right, is attached to race. because of the Tuskegee experiment, which is a good example. Right? But just like we can talk about the Tuskegee experiment with black people, in particular black men, we also can talk about these vaccines and how they gave all of these white children autism. See, either we gonna stand up for what's right, or we gonna deal with black and white. Are we looking for justice? Are we looking at this as crimes against humanity? Or are we looking at this as a racial thing? Because these people are still trying to push a race narrative. They was not pushing a race narrative when Biden was in office. When Obama was in office, when we had a black president, that is the last thing people wanted to hear. Everybody was saying it didn't matter if Barack Obama was black. So what if he was black? He was a great president. He was America's president. That's what people said about Barack Obama. When he was in office, it was never about race. And we literally had a black president. And every time we brought up Barack being black, people, Americans, even Americans who liked Obama, they went out of their way to not stress the fact that he was a black man. But why, during the Trump administration, we stressing the fact that we are under the command of this white man? I'm not understanding this. Why is the race thing so prevalent? Why y'all keep making this thing so prevalent? What's up, John? Welcome to the channel. Duke Norris, welcome to the channel. I'm trying to figure this out, y'all. Can y'all help me with this? Can y'all help me make this make sense? Shout out to Miss Angie. Hey, Miss Angie B. We got 8 lovely lady mods in here today. Shout out to you, Miss Angie. Happy Friday to you, Miss Angie B. Salute to you. Let's make it make sense. These are crimes against humanity. White children was affected by these vaccines. Black children, Asian children, children of all races. Why are we making this a black and white issue? Why? Because we got a man by the name of Robert F. Kennedy Jr. who's against vaccines. There's a narrative being pushed that he's trying to convince only black people not to be vaccinated. When we clearly hear this man advocate for getting rid of vaccines, period. But because he's a part of the Trump administration, y'all want to keep making everything about race. But for so many years in this country, we've had people say that is why America is in the state it's in, because of the racial divide. How many times we've heard this? How many times we've had this conversation? Black folks, white folks, Latin Americans, Asian Americans. How many times for how many years we've sat down and had this conversation about race? That if we move past the racial division, America will be better for everyone. For how many years we've had this conversation? But for some strange reason, during Trump's second term, because he's going to have a full term this year, this time. Because of that, now we want to bring back up this whole racial stuff to try to justify why the Trump administration isn't good for America. I'm not understanding this. What up, MR? Salute, fam. Shout out to Hammer. What up, Hammer? I'm not understanding this. I don't get it. Are we Americans or are we not American? Because see, no matter what your race is, you're still here in America. You're still here in the United States. So if you're Black and your ancestry is from this country, you are a Black American. You are a Black American. You're not just Black. Why don't you just accept that? You know why you should accept it? Because that's the facts. Those are the facts. Not only is it facts, for the majority of us, it's the truth. A lot of our lineage don't go nowhere past this country. For a lot of us. For a lot of us, some of us are really from Africa, but a lot of us aren't. A lot of us are from here. So why are we still having a black and white conversation when we're supposed to be having the what conversation? American conversation. Because what did Michael Jackson say? It don't matter if you're black or white. It don't matter if you're black or white. You know why it don't matter if you're black or white? Because if you're native to that country, that's what you are. It don't matter if you black or white, if you American. You just a white American. I'm just a black American. We already know our experience are different. We already know our cultures are different here in America. Why are we sitting here having a futile conversation when we should be having the conversation as Americans? See, the micro conversation is the race conversation. The macro conversation is what are we doing as Americans? What are we doing as Americans? What are we doing as Americans? That's the macro conversation. That's the conversation that's important. Because guess what? If I'm black, if I'm white, if I'm Asian, if I'm Latin American, whatever I am, I have to exist in this country with other races who are what? American. So shouldn't I be figuring out how to get along with fellow Americans, because this is my country. Shout out to my man, Ant T. Salute, Ant. Appreciate you, Brody. Ant says, salute, Sheik. When they make it about race all the time, it allows your true enemies to get you to do their work for them. Exactly, my brother. Salute. And that is what they've done for decades. And it's interesting you brought that up, because they've used both sides. They've used white Americans. They've used black Americans. And by them doing this, see, we're going to break this down. By them doing this, right? By them creating this racial tension and this race war, it has destroyed the fabric of what it is to be American. Because now nobody wants to be American. Everybody just want to be identified as their race. Oh, I'm black. Oh, I'm white. Nobody wants to be American. Americans don't want to be American. This is a result of the race war. See, the government knows this. The government know what they did. Why do y'all think the Trump administration, as soon as Trump got elected, he start saluting black Americans? Why do y'all? We covered this already. We ain't got to go back over it. Why do you think he did this? To let foundational black Americans in particular, not just black people, but FBAs, black Americans who ancestry trace back to this country, he wanted to let us know we don't hate y'all. Not only do we not hate y'all, we recognize what you've done for this country. This is y'all country too. And we're going to honor great black people, black Americans who've done something in this country. This is why he did all of this stuff. This is why he came out and was saying stuff about black folk, about what black folk done. This is why he hired that black woman. He pardoned her and then hired her. Why you think Trump was doing all of this? You thought he was doing it for photo ops? No. He was trying to send a message to black America. Don't fall for the race trick. That stuff is over. We moving past that. Why y'all still talking about race and we dealing with AI? Oh, so they're gonna make the AI racist too. They're gonna make so the AI gonna hate black people. So what is it? Is it still racism going on, or are they trying to turn us to robots? Which one is it? Which one is it? Are they trying to put us in concentration camps, or are they trying to turn us to robots? Come on, y'all. You see how when you keep talking this race stuff, how later on down the line, how it start not making sense? Because it's not fitting into the big picture of things. If tech rules the world, how is race going to do it? So they're going to program the AI to benefit only white people. Stop. This stuff don't make no sense, y'all. Stop letting them use this divide word, right? And the first thing your mind go is to race. See, because the real divide now, and the real divide that it always been, the real division, the real separation was always good and evil. It never was black and white. It never was Chinese versus Japanese. It never was Chinese versus Koreans. It never was that. The real separation, and this is what you're seeing going on during this Trump administration, is good and evil. Moral versus the immoral. This is what's going on now. And we're finding out that our country is a cesspool for immorality. This is why we have so much corruption in the government. And this is why Trump is cleaning it up. Him and his administration. Because what does Trump and his administration speak about? Morality. Having morals, doing things with ethics, ethical job practices. You can't be abusing your employees. You have to work in ethics. You have to be ethical now. It's not about you just making money as a business person. Are you doing it ethically? Are you treating people right? Are you compensating people right? See, because this is the new America. This is how they're going to make America great again. If they're going to make America great again, why would they do the same thing they did the first time? When have the last time this country has been great? Because see, some of y'all believe, well, the first time America was great to them when everything was racist, so why wouldn't they do it again, DS1? Because America hasn't been great in a long time. Yeah, it hasn't been great in a long time. Shout out to my man Third in the building. What up, Third? Salute, my brother. Salute. Shout out to my man Ant for doubling up. Ant says they even let these folks group them into some people of color category. More of a plot of the enemy to get you to do their work for them. Exactly. Exactly. Shout out to my man Ant for doubling up. Appreciate you, my brother. Shout out to Miss Lynette. Good to see you, Lynette. Happy Friday to you. She says, what is FBA? I never heard of this terminology before. Can you explain to me so I can get a better understanding? No problem, Miss Lynette. I appreciate you. FBA is Foundational Black Americans. These are the people who ancestry actually traces back to America. You know, because a lot of us been taught the lie that black people or all black people descended from Africa. You know, but if you know the truth, Miss Lynette, which I know you know, black people was all over the goddamn globe. So it wasn't that we just came from there. So FBA, Foundational Black American, the foundational term is just to point to the fact that America is your lineage. America is your homeland. That is your base. That is your foundation. That is where your ancestry began. The furthest you can trace it back, it all traces back here. So that's what FBA is. That's what FBA is. Scorpio says, I'm FBA. As far as I know too, Scorpio, I'm FBA as well. As far as I know, I'm FBA as well. The furthest I can go back so far, now I didn't do the ancestry test or whatever, but far as what I can trace it back and what I've asked my people about, we come from America. Like my great, like if I go back, if I go to my grandparents, parents, they're still here in America because they were actually slaves here in America. So, yes, I'm FBA as well. FBA equals you've been here all this time. Absolutely. That's a great way to sum it up, L'Oreal. Thank you. What's up, Justin? Good to have you back, man. My mother is full-blooded Shashan. We ascended from Sacagawea. Shout out to you, Justin. But let's get into this. We're gonna get into this video, right? We're gonna get into this video. And in this video that I'm getting ready to show, right, is two women having a conversation about vaccines. As y'all can see right here, Stacey Plaskett accuses Robert F. Kennedy Jr. of targeting Black Americans with vaccine misinformation. So this Black woman is saying that Robert F. Kennedy is targeting Black Americans and telling Black Americans not to be vaccinated, not to get vaccinated, because he don't want Black people to be healthy. That he's not really against vaccines. He's just trying to convince Black Americans not to get vaccines. Even though on yesterday's show, we played that video with that white woman speaking about the lawsuits that's getting ready to come down on the CDC for them having autism in the hepatitis B shot. We heard this from a white woman who was crying on the camera. So 9 times out of 10, she probably has a child, an autistic child, or autistic grandchild, or autistic nephew or niece that they probably found out it came from the vaccine. But we have this woman up here saying that Robert F. Kennedy is just trying to convince Black people not to get vaccines. This is the shenanigans that I'm talking about. And we getting ready to watch it. Like this Black woman really stood on her soapbox about this. Like she had a point. When we, on yesterday's show, clearly, we broke down how autism awareness was started by white single mothers. It ain't had nothing to do with Black folk. Now we got Black people saying, "Oh, they just trying to make sure Black people unhealthy. They trying to tell Black people not to get shots." When there's information out there of Robert F. Kennedy being an anti-vaccine advocate before he even got into office. And those seminars that he was doing was packed with white people. Come on. We're American. Can we stop the nonsense? His seminars was full with white folk whose children were suffering from autism and all other types of ailments that come from vaccines, like spinal bifida. Come on, man. Come on, man. Can we wake up? How you doing, Charlotte? Welcome to Sheep Stay Sleep TV. I appreciate you. How you doing, Kahana? Shout out to Arizona in the building. Shout out to AZ. Shout out to the West Coast. Club says Jenny McCarthy was one of the first celebrities that went anti-vax after her son got autism. White woman. White woman. But because Donald Trump and his administration is showing their care for Americans, we want to muddy up the waters and confuse people and wow people back to sleep with the race conversation. Knowing in the past 20 years, it has been a rise in autism in the Black American community. Before that, the outbreak was in the white American community. But for the past 20 years, a lot of Black children has been having autism. See, this is not new in the white American community. That's why in the video that we watched on yesterday's show, that American woman was crying. And she said, thank God that we're finally getting help with this. Who do you think she's talking about? She's talking about her white American community. So just like there's things that go unheard for Black Americans, it happens to white Americans too. And one of those things is this autism stuff and all of these mental illnesses going on with their children and these physical ailments going on with their children. That community has been ignored for decades about this stuff, about their children being born messed up. And they spend their life's fortune trying to help their children. See. Oh, I'm being too sympathetic to white people. That's what y'all saying right now. That's what some of y'all saying behind the screen. Oh, he being sympathetic to white people. No, I'm being sympathetic to my people who are American. I'm being sympathetic to Americans. You know why? Because I'm an American. Remember, I told y'all I raised one of my stepsons was autistic. He was on a spectrum. And what did I tell y'all? Most of the kids in his class were white. He went to a predominantly Caucasian school because we lived in a predominantly Caucasian county in North Carolina at this time. And we had to move there specifically so he can go to the proper school who had those resources for him. Yeah, because do you know there's certain white people in certain white neighborhoods that don't have the educational resources for their children who are special needs. So they might have to move to a whole nother county. This is what we had to do. We had to move just so he can be educated properly, so he can develop. Y'all want to keep making this a racial thing, man? These are children. These are children. You want to make this a black and white thing? These are kids that's being affected by this, man. Babies. Babies, man. So watching this video, it kind of disgusts me, but shout out to the other American woman. She's Black American. She basically corrected this young lady and let her know the facts behind the situation. Right? So fair use. Let's get into it. What's up, Dirty Money? Aces Wild. What's up, Aces Wild channel? What's going on? Right. Protect all children. All children. Absolutely, Keita T. What's up, Labo? Labo says, I will never understand racism and the hate that comes with it. Me either. I think it's silly. What's up, Unusual? Thank you, Miss Classy Creole. I appreciate that. Let's get into this.
Ranking member for 5 minutes. And I think we'll do ranking member and one more, and then we'll have to take a break.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I know that we talked earlier about a post that Mr. Kennedy had at the beginning of the Biden administration.
Before we go any further, y'all see the date. This is from July 20th, 2023.
Administration. Just want the record to reflect that that post has not been taken down. So I'm wondering about the extent of censorship when the post is still there. But more importantly, again, I go back to just the fact that we are creating a platform for this kind of discussion, not about the censorship, not about free speech, but the content of some of that speech that we are amplifying in this room. I'm appalled and just so troubled by colleagues that I have to work with, that these are individuals who would bring a witness who's promoted a video that compared the COVID vaccine to the Tuskegee trials. The Tuskegee trials were a very difficult time in Black America, where individuals who were already sick with the disease were then reviewed, experimented on, who already had a disease to see how far that disease went. And making the comparison that manipulates and preys on Black people's feelings about the atrocities of the past in order to prevent them from seeking life-saving vaccines in the present. And knowing that this is dangerous, I cannot also be unaware that this comes from an individual who, by Mr. Roy's introduction, is very smart and understands the implications of this. You know, Mr. Kennedy's own family just decries his stance on vaccines, and families disagree on a lot of things. I got family members that, you know, we all disagree, so that doesn't mean anything. But the fact that he has famously sent a request to a party guest that they had to be vaccinated to come to his party. And I'd like to introduce into the record a letter from Louis Silkin, a law firm representing Mr. Kennedy, which states, as he has stated repeatedly, he vaccinated all his children, and I'd like that to be introduced into the record, but tells the Black community and myself, a mother of 5 Black children, that I should really be careful and not necessarily have the same safeguards to protect my family, my children, from a virus that has killed millions of people because I'm Black. There's no secret that this is an amplification of his own platform. You know, I'm not going to talk about the money that's received from the Children's Health.
Now, y'all see how she's trying to shape and mold this racist narrative, this racist, eugenic type of, you know, this type of narrative. Notice how she's setting it up. Notice what she's doing. Now she's saying that, well, he's making money from this, and, you know, This is a big money grab. Just listen to how she's formulating this. Classic racist black rhetoric toward white folk. Classic way of trying to formulate a narrative. Classic way. All feelings, all conjecture, all hyperbole. She probably stated one fact in everything she said. But let's continue to her listen. Let's continue to listen to her put her foot in her mouth, because when the other woman speak, she's gonna check her with facts. Watch this, y'all. Fair use. What's up, Mike G's? Shout out to everyone that's in the chat. Let's get back to it.
Defense from his anti-vaccine organization that's responsible for a majority of the false information out there about COVID.
She said that his anti-vaccine organization is responsible for misinformation about the COVID vaccine. So this woman is in favor for the vaccine. Although they tricked the American people into taking this. We already know this. We already agreed with this, because remember, it was a requirement and then it wasn't a requirement. Remember, they told you you had to have it, and then they told you you don't need it if you don't want to take it. Remember this. So notice how she keep lying on Robert F. Kennedy Jr. She's formulating this narrative about him, which is all wrapped in race. Her whole point is wrapped in race. Her whole argument.
And the notoriety that's gained from it by manipulating Black and other vulnerable communities to propagate these pseudosciences. Ms. Wiley, are you aware of the phrase superhuman yet subhumanization?
I can't say I'm aware of the phrase. I am aware of the viewpoint.
And can you share what you believe that to mean when it comes to Black people?
Well, sadly and unfortunately, we have a history in this country where Black people were both by law and by social view viewed as inferior and subhuman, and that there were stereotypes attached to that includes all kinds of myth about the ability to disregard both the health needs, health conditions, and disparities that exist for Black people and in Black communities, to the detriment not only of the health of people who are Black, but also to public health by not taking good sound.
Yes,
Cooked her already. Look how she just got cooked. Notice what she said. She said, this just didn't affect Black Americans. This affected the public because it put a bad message out to the entire public about health. So it just didn't affect Black people. It affected Americans. You see? Because when they make these narratives about one race, it actually tells another race something negative and 9 times out of 10, a lie about the other race. So this is what this woman is referring to. It didn't just affect Black people, it affected Americans in general. It affected the American public. because it created stereotypes and myths. Stereotypes just don't affect the person who's being stereotyped. It affects the person who's using the stereotype, who's believing it. It affects them as well. This is what she's talking about. See, she's spitting facts while this other Black woman is in her feelings and trying to spin a racist narrative about the Trump administration. And listen to her get cooked. Listen to her get cooked. Cooked. Listen. Shout out to everybody in the chat. If you're just coming in the building, hit the like button, y'all. Hit the like button.
You know, in chattel slavery, you don't have to feed them the same way because they can take it. They can handle it.
Here we go. Here we go. In chattel slavery, they didn't feed us because they thought we could take it. Here we go with this shit. We talking about vaccines. She talking about chattel slavery. Here we go. Here we go with the chicanery. Here we go. Here we go. We're talking about vaccines. She talking about chattel slavery and how they didn't feed slaves. Miss, what are you talking about? Miss, where are you going here? What are we doing? Miss, what are you talking about? We're talking about vaccines, ma'am. You talking about chattel slavery. And listen, y'all, I'm not trying to humiliate this woman. But let me say this to Black folks. Black Americans, we are showing the lack of intelligence when we're still trying to have these types of conversations. We're also showing the lack of awareness about what's actually going on in this country. We're still advocating for race like we in the 60s and the 70s. We in 2025. Y'all just got through arguing with me in the chat, telling us Elon gonna turn us all to goddamn robots. Now this woman is talking about chattel slavery in 2023. This video is from 2023. She's talking about chattel slavery in 2023. You want to know what chattel slavery is in 2023, Mrs. Sarah Stacy? It's called human trafficking. Yeah, that's chattel slavery. It's called human trafficking. Okay. Update your hard drive. Update it. Update your information, ma'am.
That they don't need as much. Or now with COVID, they've got superhuman genes that they don't need to get the same vaccines in, and they may be more susceptible if you get vaccines. Ms. Wiley, why do you think someone might choose to target the Black community for false health information about vaccines?
Well, I can't say that I can sit in a position to explain why anyone would do that. I can only say that for those who wished to prevent people from getting a vaccine, it was very clear that one of the ways in which you could convince people not to is to play on fears that have basis in historic experience. Sadly, and frankly, and I can say this personally speaking from having conversations with friends,
Mhm.
with people I worked with
With family
who were,
members.
who were terrified
Mhm.
of whether or not there might be some adverse consequences for them because of the Tuskegee experiments, explicitly referring to times in which Black people had been tested on without their permission or denied access to medical intervention despite awareness that it would be detrimental to their health. That distrust has historical fact. And we have come to a point where, in terms of the COVID vaccine and what we were being told by scientists, including the ways in which both the CDC, the World Health Organization, and others were examining, were actually putting out factual information, both about the degree to which testing and trials before approval had included people who were Black, people who were Asian, and therefore had more basis in fact to be able to state scientifically.
Time of the
that that
gentlelady.
was safe.
Time of the gentlelady is expired.
Now y'all see how she got cooked. Hey, Brownie. What's going on? Happy Friday, Brownie. Now y'all see how that woman cooked her at the end with facts. Because the facts show that this information is not privy to anyone special. And I found the article, y'all, right? And I'm getting ready to pull it up right now, where we're going to read exactly what Robert F. Kennedy Jr. said about Black people and vaccinations in particular. We're going to read it. We're going to read it. You know what? You know how we do over here. So make sure you double tap your screens if you're just getting in the building. Hit the like button, y'all. Hit that like button. It's very much appreciated. Shout out to everyone for coming through. How you doing, Cheryl? Welcome back, Cheryl Schultz. Welcome back to the channel. I appreciate you. So let's get to it. This is from the Huffington Post, as y'all can see. It's from the Huffington Post 4 days ago. Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s stunning claim about Black people and vaccines sparks concern from medical experts. See, the medical experts is in on it too. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., the Health and Human Services Secretary, is making changes that threaten the public health system. From telling lies, listen, y'all, this is why they're saying he's spreading misinformation. Because he's making changes that threaten the public health system. From telling lies about the childhood vaccine schedule to replacing credible members of a vaccine advisory panel with people known to spread misinformation. Oh yeah, we're going to get to this. We're going to get to it. Groups like the American Medical Association and the American Academy of Pediatrics have spoken out against these changes. And some major medical associations are even suing Kennedy in response to his changes to the C-19 vaccine schedule. Kennedy's attack on vaccines isn't exactly a surprise. He has a history of anti-vaccine remarks. Not anti-black, but anti-vaccine, which was a major talking point throughout his Senate confirmation hearings earlier this year. Specifically, his beliefs were front and center during a heated exchange in which Senator Angela Also Brooks, Democrat, brought up a comment that Kennedy once made about vaccinations and the black community. Let's get what he said, y'all. Let's see what he said. Health policy should be based on facts, not misinformation. Huffington Post is dedicated to reporting on the truth behind public health decisions and exposing the dangers of health misinformation. Support our work in fighting false narratives and promoting accurate, trustworthy reporting. Y'all see this? This is from Huffington Post right here. So they're not pushing narratives. They're not pushing narratives. They're not pushing anti-Trump narratives. In 2021, Kennedy has said, listen to what he said, y'all. We should not be giving black people the same vaccine schedule that's given to whites because their immune system is better than ours. That's what he said. He said that black people's immune system is better than whites. You see how that woman got up there and created a false narrative? Because if she actually knew if she knew exactly what he said, would she really would have had a problem with that? Because hold on to my pro-blacks. Shout out to the pro-blacks. Wasn't you taught that you was the supreme being? Wasn't you taught you was God in the flesh? Huh? Wasn't you taught that? Wasn't you taught that? A white man just said it. Aleem Akbar. Didn't you run around saying that the black man got supreme genes, the supreme mathematics, the supreme genes? This white man just agreed with you. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. just said out his mouth that black people got a better immune system than whites. And we mad? Oh, wait. Black people are trying to say that Trump and his administration is racist. But this white man just said out his mouth that black people got better immune systems than whites. This same white man you keep trying to make out to be racist. He just told black folks, you don't need to get vaccinations when other races get vaccinations because you have a stronger immune system. That's what he said, Miss Lady. That's what he said, Stacy. Why you got up there and lied and tried to paint him out to be a racist? If you're going to say he racist, the person that should be saying he racist is white folks. Because he the one that just compared and said black people is better than white people. He said that out of his mouth as a white man. So why black people mad? All he said was being that we have stronger and better immune systems, we don't need to get vaccinated when other races get vaccinated, the schedules needs to go according to the immune system. This man just admitted that black people are genetically superior. This white man just said that. We got stronger immune systems. You want me to pull it up again? Because y'all might think I'm making this up. No, this is coming out of the Huffington Post. All I'm doing is reading. Let's read it again. For y'all be calling me a racist. even though Robert F. Kennedy Jr. said this back in 2021. Kennedy said in 2021, here it is. Kennedy had said, we should not be giving black people the same vaccine schedule that's given to whites because their immune system is better than ours. That's what he said. Quote, unquote. That is what that man said. That's what he said. That's what he said. That's what he said. And we just played the video with this black woman trying to make it seem like he said something racist about black people when he didn't. He just basically admitted to white people being weaker than black folk. That's what he said out his mouth. He said our immune system is weaker than theirs. Their immune system is better than ours. That's what he said. I'm not telling black Americans to go and celebrate. I'm not saying that. I want y'all to look at the bigger picture. See, the bigger picture that's being displayed here is that the government in America, right? This administration, they're not afraid to tell the truth that was never told about Americans. See, that's how I look at this. See, in order to make this country great again, we got to dispel all the BS. So we could stop having these fake woke conversations. You know, everybody want to act like they woke, having these fake woke conversations. See, how they're going to dispel of these foolish, counterproductive conversations is by telling the truth about black people. The truth that they always knew about us. See, now they're giving it up. Trump said out of his mouth that this country was built off the backs of black folks. He said it out of his mouth. We played the video. See, now because this is how you get rid of the counterproductivity. You listen, we're going to tell y'all what really happened. This is what it really is. So y'all can stop conversing about BS. We're going to tell y'all what it really is, what it always was. We lied. Yes, we lied. Yes, we did that to black folks. But guess what else? Just like they did the Tuskegee experiment on black people, they experimented on white kids with autism. Yep, and that's what's coming out now. They also did it to white kids. They also did it to white people. They also told turned the white community into an experiment as well. This is what's being exposed. This is why I have Caucasian people in my chat room who agrees with what I'm saying, but even though I'm a black man, because they know I stand with America. It don't matter if you're black or white. They did it to them too. They did it to them too. They experimented on them too. They did it to them too. Crimes against humanity. Crimes against humanity. So the trust is broken. And the trust is not just broken with black people in the healthcare industry. Now you got a bunch of white folks not going to the goddamn doctor. Yeah, you got a lot of white folks that's on that woke agenda stuff now. You got a lot of white folks on that too now. They ain't going to no doctors. You know why a lot of them stay at home white moms start homeschooling? Because they ain't want to put their children in public school because they didn't want their children to get shots. Because one of their earlier children got shots and now they messed up. So now the children later on down the line, mom stays at home and homeschools them because they don't want their children vaccinated. Do you know that was the original reason for them white moms starting to homeschool their kids? Did you know that? See, black folk, we start homeschooling our kids because we were saying that our children was being miseducated and how the education wasn't good enough for black kids. That's why we start homeschooling. They started homeschooling, the white Americans, they started homeschooling because their children was getting sick from them shots. Look it up. See, over here, we don't paint narratives. No, we tell the truth. That's why they took their children out of school. The white American community was the first community plagued with autistic children. Plagued with children with developmental issues. That was in the white community first. But see, y'all don't want to talk about that. Because y'all still want to have this dumb racial conversation. But when I used to go to my stepson's school, and I used to see his friends in his class, them kids ain't know nothing about race. Them kids ain't know nothing about no race, man. Nothing about race. They knew that their friend was in their class. That's my friend, Dad. That's my friend. You think I told my son, no, he can't be your friend because he this? No. No. We got to stop this, man. Because now nobody want to go to the goddamn doctor. Nobody. The trust is broken. We don't trust our own country. And who are we to blame for that? The people who were in charge. And this is who the Trump administration is holding accountable. This is why y'all hear me say shout out to the Trump administration, because he's holding these people accountable. He's holding them accountable. Him and his entire administration. People don't want to go to the doctor no more. People don't want to go to the hospital no more because they don't trust doctors. Because all they want to do is shoot some shit in your arm. You see? Then when you end up sick, they ain't got no explanation for you. They want to shoot some other stuff in your arm. Oh, you're sick? Oh, we got another needle for you. Every time you're in the doctor, like you a heroin addict. Every time you go to the doctor, they got a needle ready for you. Y'all don't find that to be a problem? Y'all don't find that to be a problem? Well, you better start. You better start. All you have to do, if you're a Black American, is look at all the Black American children with IEPs now. This is real, man. So Robert F. Kennedy didn't say nothing racist about Black people. He actually bigged Black folks up. He actually told a truth that people tried to consider a myth for a long time. He just straight came out and said, listen, y'all, Blacks got better immune systems than us. And you think he don't know? You think he don't got the information? They been knew this stuff. That's old news. See why we need to get off the race stuff? See, now all we got to do is sit back and listen for confirmation. We ain't got to sit back and listen for some racial stuff. Listen for confirmation. Because that's what the Trump administration has been doing. Confirming the things that a lot of Black Americans have been saying for a long time. That white America was taught to ignore. See? They know too. But they was taught to ignore it. They was taught not to acknowledge it. See, they were conditioned as well. Y'all don't get it? Psychology. They were conditioned as well. And guess what happened? Guess what happened? It destroyed the country. It destroyed the country. It turned this place into Disneyland. The world of followers, of foreigners. America has become Disneyland. You can just come here from anywhere all over the world and enjoy yourself and live better than all the people who live here. That's what America became. Because of this psychological conditioning that they did on both sides. This is why the Trump administration is coming and saying, listen, let's get past all that. We're going to go ahead and tell the truth. We're going to put it out there. We're going to put it out there. Let's put it out there. So we can move past the woke conversations, so we can get off the racial shit and the slavery talk and all of that. Because that conversation also keeps white Americans back. Because it keeps white Americans who had slave masters in their family stuck in a slave master mindset. See, this is all psychology, y'all. see? The slavery conversation keeps the slave in the slave mindset and keeps the slave master in the slave master mindset. And that is no longer applicable in America. You want to be a slave master, you going to jail. Ask Diddy. Ask Smokey Robinson. You want to be a slave master or you want to have slaves? You going to jail. You're going to jail. Ask Smokey Robinson. He had slaves in his house. He had 4 Latin women held captive as slaves in his house. Literal workers, slaves. Yeah. That's why he's in jail. His ass gonna get fried. They're gonna fry Smokey. They're gonna smoke Smokey. You want to be a slave master? They're destroying the mindset, the old way of thinking. And they have to destroy it on both sides. They got to destroy the slave mindset. And they have to destroy the slave master mindset. But you always gonna have people who promote that narrative, the slave and the slave master. But if you know the facts, you know that that's null and void in society. Because if we all gonna pledge allegiance to AI, who's the slave master? Who's the slave master? Come on, y'all. And they also realized that both races that were conditioned with this psychosis has created inferiority on both sides. See? It made black people inferior to whites, and it made whites inferior to blacks. See? You see? See what it did? And what did it do for the country? In the long run, what did it do? What did it do? But destroy and cause confusion. That's all it did. It didn't benefit anyone. In the long run, it didn't benefit anyone. Those same slave master families that y'all like to talk about, how much you think slavery still is benefiting them today when they got mixed kids? You see what I'm talking about? You know them old slave master families here in America? They got Mexican in their bloodline now, Black American in their bloodline now, Dominican in their bloodline now. What did they get them? What did it get them? Now you got your little black boy running around your house calling you Papa. Calling you Papa. What did it get him, y'all? What did it get him? That is a whole, yeah. I'm not gonna go too deep into it. That's a whole nother show. But it didn't benefit this country. It didn't benefit it. So now it's time to trash it all. Because preaching separation divided the whole goddamn country, almost to the point where we don't even have a country. So now they have to do away with the separation narratives, the racial narratives. They have to throw it away. They have to give Black American people credit. They have to do this. This have to be on the record because they're rewriting American history. See, they don't want America to be known for what it was known for. They rewriting the history books. You see? They don't want my generation, the millennials, and the Gen Zs and the Gen Alphas to be talking to their great grandkids about slavery. They don't even want that shit in history. They already setting it up. By time we become great grandpas, if we still alive, ain't gonna be no slavery narrative to tell them. Who was a slave? When? Y'all don't see what's going on? What slave master? When? Oh, that was during my great grandmama time. That shit gonna be ancient history. But I'm saying all of that to say this. The Trump administration is trying to rebuild the trust of the American people. Listen to what I just said. I'm going to say it again. They're trying to rebuild the trust of the American people. American people. FBAs, you are American. You are a Black American. So stop saying I'm not American. Because it's not just whites in America. Okay? And guess what? If you go do your history correctly, you'll find out that there's always been Black people here. Okay? Long before goddamn Nina Pinta Santa Maria slave ship pulled up wherever. Okay? It was Black people right here. Okay? So they're trying to rebuild the trust of the American people. That's what this is about. Because the trust has been broken. Nobody believes them. Nobody. Nobody trusts nothing with America now. And they understand why that's so. They know it's because of them. So we have an administration here that's trying to fix that. And if my thing is this, if you want a better country to live in, I don't see what the problem is. I don't see what the problem is. As long as it's going to be a better country for Americans, I'm not against that plan. And Robert F. Kennedy said, in order to make America great again, you got to make the American people healthy. Americans got to care about their health and their well-being. And that's not just eating sea moss. Okay? That also means having quality, healthy food on your local grocery store shelves. I shouldn't have to drive to Publix. I shouldn't have to go to Publix. I shouldn't have to go to Wegmans. It should be a standard here in America. Should be a standard. Okay? So this is why I'm on the side of Robert F. Kennedy Jr. I'm on his side. Right, Whole Foods. Trader Joe's, right. I shouldn't have to go to Trader Joe's. I shouldn't have to go to Whole Foods. I shouldn't have to. How you doing, Yvette Keys? Yvette Keys says, and not costing an arm and a leg too. Exactly. But see, once they make healthy food a standard here in America, Miss Yvette Keys, the price of it is going to have to drop. The price of it is going to drop. Brownie says, I love me some Wegmans now. Yeah, I know you do. I bet you do. Shout out to Headbanger Video. Headbanger Video says healthy food will produce healthy minds. Absolutely. What's up, Joseph? Try fasting. It's truly amazing. It is. I agree. I agree. Let me make sure I miss no super chat. Shout out to you, Brownie. Thank you, Brownie. She says it's payday. Don't be telling people that, Brownie. Brownie, don't be telling people that. You know these Negroes be pocket watching women around here. Don't say that. Next time, just send a super sticker. Or just type in salute DS1. Don't ever tell these Negroes around here that you got paid today. Cause Brownie, I saw what happened last time. I ain't gonna get too much into it, but I saw homeboy, you know, he was arguing with you about some money. he was arguing with you about your money. So next time, don't be telling these people you got paid. Be telling them that. Yeah, I had to let her know. I had to let her know, Classy Creole. I had to let her know. Don't do that. Yvette says, I've been fasting for a year. It's wonderful. Absolutely. Absolutely. Brownie says, healthy food produces better behavior. Absolutely. Which turns into productivity. And this is ultimately what the Trump administration wants to increase, the level of productivity amongst American people. What up, Manje11? Manje says the first thing is to resubsidize local farmers, not corporations like Monsanto. Gates and them bought most of the farmland in America. The FDA is useless also. I agree, Manje. I agree. I don't know if you was here, Manje, when we did the show about the FDA and how they had a big food stamp scam going on. And y'all see why they banning snacks from SNAP and all of that too? It's not just because of the health stuff too. Remember, we covered that big food stamp scam that was being ran by the FDA. Remember, y'all, we covered it over here. So they didn't just ban snacks from SNAP for the health reasons. It got something to do with the money too. It got something to do with the money too, because they're going to get their money back. They're going to get their money back. We not gonna sit here and play like we don't know how the government roll. They're gonna get their money back. LT man says, "Can I hold $1?" Yeah, it's about yeah. They gonna get their money back. They're gonna get their money back, Miss Angie. So we can't forget that. Hey, Mike G's. I don't. I'm not even gonna say nothing, man. How can I tell people what to eat? I can't tell nobody what to eat, bro. I don't eat no Takis though, but I can't tell nobody what to eat, bro. I can't tell nobody what to eat, bro. For real, I can't tell nobody what to eat. L'Oreal says the farmers, especially the black farmers, got it bad. Gates will be charged with crimes against humanity. Then the government will snatch that land right back. It's going down, Yvette. It's going down. It's going down. Brownie said, did y'all know most beef is imported and it get USDA sticker after it's been processed some way to make it a product from America? Yes, ma'am. I'm glad you said that, Brownie. I'm glad you said that because that's true. And when I found that out, I was shocked too. That the USDA actually, did you know this part of it, Brownie? That the USDA actually allows a certain level of toxins and contaminants in the food. Did you also know that there's some processed food that is USDA approved? A lot of your farm raised fish, right? Instead of your freshwater fish, but that farm raised stuff is USDA approved. So there's a lot of things, a lot of food in particular, that's not good for us that is USDA approved. And there's a lot of food that we're eating that doesn't even come from the United States. Especially a lot of our beef. Especially a lot of our beef and fish. Not forget that too. I'm glad you said that, Brownie. I'm glad you said that. What up, Darren? Shout out to Darren, man. Shout out to Australia. I appreciate y'all support out there, man. Salute to you, fam. Look what he said. Darren says, Sheep State, U.S. Australians export a lot of beef to America. So a lot of our beef is coming from Australia too. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy, sis. It's crazy, man. Brownie says, yup, I knew that. Miss Angie says, I'm hearing you better be buying chicken with bone because there's fake chicken being sold as boneless. Stay alert. Oh, yes. Yes. I heard about that too. I heard that some of your chicken breast is not chicken breast. They selling pork as chicken. Yeah. They selling pork as chicken. USDA is evil, man. It's them people, man. It's not the agency. It's the people, Joseph. A lot of these people are diabolical, man. Yeah, chicken has been sus. Yeah, some places been selling you pork as chicken breast. L'Oreal. I'm sorry, sis, but it's real. They're going to have all y'all eating bugs and lab-grown meat soon. Well, actually, Brownie, that's what a lot of the vegans are eating. A lot of the vegans are eating bugs and lab-grown meat and dildo plastic. You know that's what's in. You know that's what vegan meat is. Vegan meat. Let me stop. Vegan meat is dildo plastic. So stop eating vegan food. Vegan food is not healthy for you. All you doing is eating you eating plastic and bugs. Yeah, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop. Vegan meat is a sham. It is, man. Come on, man. The dietary laws is in a good book. You follow the dietary laws in the good book, you be all right. That's all. Just follow. They give you the dietary laws in Leviticus. They tell you what you can eat and what you can't eat in Leviticus, in the Old Testament of the Bible. They tell you what meat to eat, all of that. I don't need to go like, come on, man. Nobody eating no vegan food, man. You're gonna end up sick. You're gonna end up with cancer. That stuff give people cancer, man. Yeah, it's bugs, bro. Bugs and plastic, bro. Brownie says, nah, they take the cells and grow meat on a membrane and call it ethical. That's sick. What? Yeah, that's sick. They should call that black magic, Brownie. That's black magic. What's your take on tofu? Don't eat that. Tofu is not healthy either. Don't eat a bunch of tofu. All that woke stuff. Don't eat none of that stuff from that woke stuff. Because they're gonna have that them woke conversations gonna have you eating tofu, and none of that shit is healthy for you. None of it. You're human. You're supposed to eat meat. You're human. If you know anything about science, anything about biology, you're supposed to eat meat. You're a human being. Humans are not supposed to only eat plants. Humans are not, what do you call them? Omnivores. No. What herbivores? That's the people those are the animals that just eat plants. Herbivores. That's not for humans. Okay? Stop listening to that. Stop listening to that. You're going to end up somewhere in the hospital sick. Brownie says, look into lab-grown meat. Man, I could only imagine the videos, but I'm going to check it out after this show, Brownie. Tofu comes from soy, and soy has phytoestrogen and can cause fibroids and other problems. Yep. What up, Raj? Raj says, I want a steak now. Exactly, bro. Yeah, herbivores. I said the wrong one the first time. Herbivores. Humans are actually omnivores. We eat meat and plants. Our DNA and how it's structured is designed for us to eat meat and plants. Humans are omnivores. Give me a good ribeye. I like tomahawks. I like tomahawks and T-bones. I like ribeyes, but not like that. I'm a T-bone tomahawk guy. And let's not forget about those dino ribs. Let's not forget about those dino beef ribs. We ain't gonna forget about that. We're not gonna forget about that. Darren says, Sheep State, Australia has put a ban on importing American beef. Why? Why y'all put a ban on it, Darren? What's going on? Is it a political issue? Is it a political issue, Darren? Let me know. T-bones is where it's at. Yep. Yeah, I like porterhouses too. Yeah, that's why I like them, Yvette. That's why I like them. Our biosecurity protocols. Steroids in the beef. Yeah, I'm not a big baked potato person either. I don't like steak and potatoes. I like steak and mac. Steak, mac, and broccoli. Not steak, potato, and broccoli. Or steak, yams, and broccoli. Like sweet potatoes. I'm not a big baked potato guy. Yvette says that's why it's banned in antibiotics. Darren says apparently American beef doesn't come to Australia standard. Oh, okay. Okay. Y'all got to do too much just to sell it. That makes sense. Y'all got to do too much to it. It makes sense. Yeah, that's more my that's how my plate would look, Miss Classy Creole. But shout out to everyone, man. I'm gonna let y'all go and enjoy y'all weekend. Happy Friday to everyone. Happy Friday to everyone. Y'all stay tuned because we might be live this weekend. Never know. Y'all stay tuned. Y'all make sure y'all set y'all bell notifications. If you're new here, you enjoyed the content, make sure you subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you're notified every time we drop some new content right here on Sheep Stay Sleep TV. And of course, shout out to my lovely lady mods today. If I missed any of my lovely lady mods, my apologies. But I really appreciate y'all pulling up and always coming through and holding it down. Shout out to my lovely lady mods as always. Shout out to Link. I see Link in the building. It's good, Link. Shout out to everyone for pulling up. Shout out to everyone. Salute to all the bros. Salute to the visionaries, man. Salute to y'all. Salute to y'all. And shout out to all the new supporters. Shout out to all the new supporters. Shout out to all the new supporters. Salute, salute, salute. Shout out to y'all. Like I said, get down in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think of today's show. And make sure y'all set y'all bell notifications because we might be going live this weekend, man. I appreciate all the love and the support. If you would like to support the student tuition fund, the links and the directions is pinned at the top of your screen, at the top of the chat, excuse me. Just follow those directions and I will shout you out on the next show. I will shout you out on the next show. As a matter of fact, before I go, shout out to the OG, Elisino in the building, because he definitely donated to the student tuition fund. Thank you so much, OG. Definitely didn't want to miss you, man. I appreciate you, champ. Salute to you, man. But shout out to everyone who has financially supported today's show via the super chat or the Cash App or however you financially supported today's show. It is very much appreciated, man. Yeah, I know y'all one day ahead of us, Darren. So you enjoy your weekend, my brother. And shout out to everyone for tuning in once again. Get down in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think, man. DS1 Ross, Sheep Stay Sleep TV, and I'm going to catch y'all on the next one. Peace.